First of all, thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule for this interview series with Cosmos Hub. And we would love to learn more about how you're building on Cosmos, how's the experience so far, and what are some of the challenges that you're working towards, and part of the success stories as well.
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Always. So to begin with, if you can give us a quick introduction about you, what project are you working on, and what's your role?
Nice. So my name is Yair Cleper. I'm the CEO of Magma Devs, a contributor at Lava Network. And my background is computer engineering, born and raised in Israel. And I'm an entrepreneur by soul, and building a couple of startups since I was 21. And 3.5 years ago, jumped into Web3 and realized that infrastructure is shit. I don't know if I can say that and you can censor, but obviously, yeah. And we were looking on different solution, and we were just shocked to see full industry based on infrastructure that is malfunctioning, have problems around privacy, censorship, single point of failure. And we decided to found Lava in order to address exactly this problem. We started Lava 2.5 years ago, and it's been a crazy roller coaster ever since.
How did you come across Cosmos ecosystem, and why did you choose to build in it?
I think we are one of the most interesting examples that didn't know Cosmos before. We heard about Cosmos, we dive into the documentation, but we were comparing other open sources as well, like subnets, paraswaps, and we felt like the Cosmos is the most battle-tested protocol. SDK, back then called Tendermint or Comet BFT, and obviously we heard a lot about IBC. All of that I guess we're gonna touch upon, but in general we said, okay, we feel that this is what's suitable for us to execute, to deliver. It's not the first time we're building products, scalable, and that was what was the most important thing, to put our trust in a protocol that's gonna take us faster to our goal. In project, in startups, it's all about time to market.
Since you're a team of builders as well, what do you think makes Cosmos unique compared to other blockchain ecosystems from a technical perspective, and to make it easier to build?
So I think it's, except for the fact that it's the most battle tested, I think the fact that it's pretty documented, and we contributed a lot with our amazing team, engineers, ex-cybersecurity to the code. But I think that it was really interesting to see that diving in is fairly easy. And again, I'm talking about 2.5 years ago, right? It's improved a lot since then. We were really interested about the fact that IBC can support a cross-chain and has built-in features that will eventually help Lava. And also my first Cosmoverse was 2 years ago in Medellin, Colombia. And although I knew almost no one, a lot already heard about Lava. I was going with the shirt, and the welcoming of the community, super smart people, and they always want to execute, to build. This is something that made me feel here at home.
So what role do you think interoperability plays in enhancing building on Cosmos? Where it is rewarding and how it is challenging at times as well?
So I think the challenges, as always, as any project diving into open source, is to understand exactly your roadmap and adjust it on the open source that you're building on, right? At the end of the day, what was really appealing for us is the fact that Lava presented the concept that called incentive pools, that basically every chain can deposit its own native tokens, and then it can distribute back to the providers. So providing doing the service, and according to the quality of service, they receive the rewards. And the rewards can be in any token. It can be in USDC, it can be in the native token. And I think this, it took us some time to understand exactly the modules and features that will help us to accomplish this vision. But in general, if you think about how quickly we executed, we went from nothing to a mainnet in 1.5 years. And that's, I think, pretty solid. So kudos for Cosmos and the amazing community that was building all of that in order for us to execute. Yeah.
So Lava Network is an app chain by itself. Do you think the Cosmos Hub has made significant progress in making it faster, to scale and to launch your own app chain?
So again, if you think about 2.5 years ago when we started, a lead time to mainnet testnet took us, I think, since then everything what I checked, is much more documented. The IBC was still never hacked. And yeah, I think that the ideology that this community has is brilliant, right? I think the challenges, if I go back, also is the fact that we need as a community to find a better business model to accrue the value back to the ATOM himself. But that's a topic for another question, maybe. Yeah.
With the tools and features that launched in Cosmos so far, which direction do you think Cosmos is headed in the coming 1 or 2 years?
Oh, that's a big one. You see kind of we don't call them fights, but I think Cosmos represent a fragmented sometimes ideology, and at the same time I can say that Cosmos Hub gave a grant to our foundation, to Lava Foundation, in order to be the first chain to deploy on mainnet. And just this week, the Lava Foundation announced that the first revenue, chain revenue, is coming back to the delegate and contributors for the chain. So it's the first time that the IBC was used on the mainnet to distribute ATOM back to everyone who participate during this 1 month and gave service, RPC service this time, but anyway, it can develop to any type of service. And I think that in general you see, more and more concept that thinking about the utility, right? Unfortunately, I think the majority of the chains on Cosmos are inflationary basis, and inflation is used to hide the lack of utility. So as we going forward, more upchain will need to prove, okay, we have utility. Like there is real usage and demand that can use the concept of upchain in order to capture the token value, right? And this is this part that is missing. Obviously, you see statistics, right? 90 plus something of the chains, 90% of the chains, like they don't have this inflation mechanism, and they have 2%, 8%, 10% inflation per year. So this is I think the core questions of how we reduce the fights, how we create Cosmos to bring back utility to the ATOM, and in general, yeah, I think that's what the market, at least now, wants to really see.
We'll jump into the rapid fire section. ATOM is a token, sell or compound?
Only compound, come on. I came all the way to Dubai.
Why do you think cosmonauts should hold ATOM?
Because they believe in the ideology. ATOM and Cosmos came up with so many first things, the first concept of upchain, the first concept of IBC, they were first in so many things. I believe something super tremendous gonna evolve now, because there are some changes internally.
Who do you think should be the CEO of Cosmos?
Sorry, I'm not available. If you propose, yeah, it's up to the community to decide.
What do you think is a challenge that's Cosmos are facing right now?
So it's exactly what I was mentioning in my talk yesterday, utility. Utility is missed obviously in general in crypto, but the utility with the combination of how do you bring this value and capturing this value back to ATOM, these two things is the challenges that Cosmos is facing right now.
If you were to describe interchain security in 3 words, what would it be?
Innovation.
Do you think interchain security is more of a safety net, or is it like a growth accelerator in Cosmos?
I think it's a safety net.
What's your favorite interchain wallet?
So we are great partners with Kepler from the early beginning. We're supporting us, even investing, and they doing staking with Lava. And Leap, we have amazing collaboration with them. They also have the restake feature enabled for the Lava Foundation.
What's a proposal that you really remember voting on in Cosmos?
I remember Juno, I think was 2022, February, March, something like that. It was to revert a delegation that a whale wallet got for an airdrop that claimed that he didn't do that. That was that was interesting.
Yeah. I think I want to end with a question about, if you were to give basically like a tagline or a catchphrase for building on Cosmos, what would that be?
Create the fastest upchain to execute.
Okay, great. That's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.